This is Dion Wright. Dion is a really good basketball player. This is, well, of course, LeBron James. He's a much better basketball player. Never in his wildest dreams did Dion think he would be guarding LeBron James in a high school gym in front of 2,000 people. But here we are. But to find out how we got here, we have to go back over a decade ago, when Dion was in high school and he shot off a few tweets that would come back to haunt him years later. As sports fans, we can be irrational, emotional, and absolutely unhinged at times. Our expectations often unrealistic. Sports opinions that'll seriously have you questioning another man's mental state. It can get ugly. And it often does. The worst of it all being the harsh criticisms of sports fans voiced on social media platforms. Maybe a comment, a tweet, picking apart a player's game, or possibly a decision they made that didn't sit well with you. Practically every single one of us can do this with absolutely no consequence. We're just fans, staring at a screen. Our points of criticism so irrelevant and unheard that you'd be better off sharing your NBA opinions with a brick wall. I mean, at least the brick wall won't call you an idiot for saying if the Kings drafted Luka Doncic instead of Marvin Bagley, they'd be championship contenders by now. Or maybe it would. It's all pretty ridiculous, I know, but we're sports fans. Set the bar as low as you want. We will find a way under it. Fortunately, 99.9% of the time, these criticisms go unheard. Talk smack to a giant super athlete online and go to sleep with the peace of mind knowing you'll never have to actually back it up. But what if you did? Imagine publicly criticizing one of your favorite players, an NBA superstar, and then actually having to go toe-to-toe with them on the court. Because that's exactly what happened to Dion Wright, the only man to ever call out an NBA player online and have to answer to that player. But how in the world did Dion end up in a high school gym in the middle of the summer guarding LeBron James? Well, to find the genesis of this saga, we have to go way back. June 12th, 2011 was a fairly normal summer day. The Yankees beat the Indians, this guy was named the shortest man in the world, and the Miami Heat faced off against the Dallas Mavericks in Game 6 of the NBA Finals. The Mavericks were up 3-2 in the series, and LeBron was fresh into his villain stage. So pretty much everyone in the world, aside from me and about 7 other people, wanted LeBron and the Heat to get crushed in this game. One of many fans rooting for the Heat to lose was a 19-year-old Dion Wright, who had this to say. Now, besides the fact that Dion was right on both accounts, the Heat did go on to lose that Game 6 in the finals and the series, and LeBron did eventually go back to Cleveland. It was clear early on that Dion was not boarding the LeBron hype train. He read LeBron like a book, saw past his charades and antics, and called it like it was. And 2 years later, Dion would head back to Twitter to lay the smackdown on LeBron once again. On June 18th, 2013, the Miami Heat faced off against the San Antonio Spurs in Game 6 of the 2013 NBA Finals. The Spurs were playing lights out in the first half, and Tim Duncan was playing like an absolute madman with 25 points and 8 rebounds in the first half alone. Meanwhile, the Heat were struggling, and LeBron was in the midst of another monumental meltdown. 9 points on 33% shooting with the lowest plus-minus among all players in the half. So the man himself, Dion Wright, took to Twitter to lay down a 5-word diss that would eventually come back around to bite him nearly a decade later. LeBron not clutch at all. Now, at the time, this proclamation was widely agreed upon. Up to that point in LeBron's career, he just wasn't clutch. This tweet was almost less of a criticism and more of just an observation. A seemingly harmless, but inevitably fateful tweet. Now, unlike the average trash talker on social media, Dion actually had some merit to give a take like this. In high school, Dion was California's Prep Player of the Year in 2012. And by the summer of 2013, Dion was playing basketball for St. Bonaventure University in New York, a Division I program in the same conference as Dayton, UMass, and Davidson, where Stephen Curry played college ball. By his senior season at St. Bonaventure, the 6'7" forward was averaging a near double-double with 17 points and 9 rebounds a game, and led the program to one of their biggest wins in school history over 15th ranked Dayton in 2016. After college, Dion played multiple seasons as a pro internationally and has averaged 16, 6, and 3 a game in his last 2 seasons of pro ball overseas. Dion is far from the average trash talker on Twitter. The man's got NBA size and can hoop something serious. And he's constantly showcasing these skills in pro-am leagues like the TBT, a basketball tournament reserved for some of the most elite hoopers in the country, and the Drew League, one of the most prestigious pro-am summer leagues in the country. See, whenever people see these guys they've never heard of in pro-am leagues like the Drew League, they're quick to say these players must be some scrubs off the street. But as easy as it is to sit back and think that we could all go out there and give a decent effort, we couldn't. At least the majority of us can't. Even these pro-am guys that you've never heard of, these so-called janitors and mailmen, are all certified hoopers. In fact, you would have a tough time finding a guy who wasn't a contributing player at the D1 or even professional level throughout some of these pro-am leagues. Last week, Dion was set up to play in a Drew League game no different than any other. Just another ordinary pro-am game on the schedule. That is, until DeMar DeRozan tweeted this: "The King and Debo, Drew League tomorrow." The Reaper of NBA Twitter had arrived, and it was knocking on Dion's door. 11 years after his original tweet about LeBron, and Dion would have to do what no sports fan had ever done before. Actually go out there and face the guy.
He was like, "Yo, bro, you won't believe this." I was like, "What?" He was like, LeBron is coming tomorrow to the Drew League."
Did you know that you were going to be the guy that was going to be tasked with guarding Braun as soon as it happened?
I told him, I'm guarding Braun. And whatever happens after that, it happens after that. Like, I told him straight up, like, I'm guarding Braun.
Everybody get hype for somebody else. Hey, I woke up with anger in my life today. I woke up to DMX on my playlist today.
42, 16, and 4. LeBron's stats at the end of the game after going half speed and trying out some new combos in his bag. It was an absolute masterclass, and for one day, the Drew League became the LeBron show. And in absolutely no time at all, Dion Wright became the poster child for biting off more than you can chew. The impossibly rare case of an NBA fan talking trash and being forced to back it up. But even more impossible is the fact that Dion did back up all the trash talk. Because Dion finished this game with a team-high 20 points and led his team back to just a 2-point deficit. Dion and his squad were just one bucket away from beating a Pro-Am team that featured LeBron James and DeMar DeRozan. The man had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to show out against one of the greatest players of all time, and despite all the memes and the jokes, he actually pulled it off. I guarantee, I promise that if any of us had to go out and guard LeBron James on a random Saturday afternoon, we wouldn't hold him to 40 points. And we damn well would not drop 20. In fact, NBA fans were asked this exact question: how would you fare going toe-to-toe against LeBron? And the answers, well, they speak for themselves. And possibly the craziest part about this entire story is that Dion wasn't even supposed to play in this game. The day before the game, Dion was in Buffalo and got a call from a friend who was playing in the Drew League. His friend let him know that LeBron was going to be there, and Dion made a game time decision to fly across the country, lace up against LeBron James, and went out there and dropped 20 and 6. Fast forward 10 days, and Dion has now teamed up with Trae Young, earned LeBron's respect, and now has a story so crazy, even he can't believe it happened. Dion Wright, the first man to ever trash talk an NBA player on Twitter, and actually back it up. Hope you all enjoyed, and as always, until next time.